Hey guys, it's Nineveh. It's so good to see everybody. Well, I can't really see you, but you can see me. So anyway, Nineveh Prof. Bleh, I messed up. Can we start over?
I
No,
don't know.
Okay, fine. This isn't live television, so let's just go with this. NinevehDinha.com is my website. I'm the editor-in-chief of You Magazine, which is a digital publication that focuses on empowering women. And the guy that you're seeing on the screen here is way more important than I am. This is Terry Shanahan from the ShanahanPlan.com. He's actually out of Omaha, Nebraska. I'm out of Salt Lake City, Utah. So that's what I love about technology is that, you can have conversations with people from anywhere in the world. So Terry is an incredible guy. He's been a friend for a longtime friend of my husband's. He's a functional nutrition consultant, and he has coached hundreds of athletes, top-notch guys like Kyle Korver. And if you're from Utah and you're tuning in from Utah, you'll know who Kyle Korver is. He also played for the Chicago Bulls, but here locally for the Utah Jazz. So Terry was actually his personal chef and really helped Kyle a lot in terms of his athleticism and his diet. He's also helped Olympians and everyday people like me, people who struggle with weight loss and other things like that. He certainly taught me a lot about what not to eat. He specializes in gut health and inflammation. And so today we're going to be talking specifically about my favorite sex, which is women. I like women. I mean, oh my God, that sounds so bad. Hold on. I like women in terms of empowering them.
This is a different interview than we anticipated, people.
I know. So,
different.
thank God this is not live television. But listen, if you guys have been following me, you know that we're launching a body reset program, and it's kicking off on January 4th, and we'll talk about that later. But Terry is actually one of the coaches that's going to be, featured in this group. And so today I want to specifically talk about women and what could be holding them back from losing weight. So Terry, let's get right to you.
Absolutely.
And let's talk about some things that we don't typically talk about, because a lot of women will say, I'm working out constantly and I'm eating right, but I can't seem to lose weight.
Right.
What that is.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of women, the things that we all want to talk about are working out. And so it's all about, I did this workout, and people are posting pictures of workouts and things like that. And that's great. But in reality, that's a very small percentage of what we need to be worried about if our long-term goals are weight loss and wellness. And workouts are great, but some women overtrain. And then we all think we eat well, but what's the definition of eating well? There's no mutually agreed upon definition of what a good diet is. And so a lot of people don't even know that they're not eating well, even though they think they are, and they're making the effort to eat well. They're putting things in their body that are damaging them. And so on top of just working out and eating well, probably the three biggest factors that sink people's diet that are what I call blocking factors, they block you from getting the results you deserve: gut health, inflammation, and hormones. Those are the things that really, really sink people, especially women. Women have more hormonal issues traditionally than men. So those are the three things outside of diet and workout. And of course, your diet and workout can affect those things, but those are the three things that I really want to key in on and help women with, so they can get the results they deserve.
Are you trying to say that we have PMS problems?
Well, I didn't say it. You did.
Okay, but in all seriousness, so when you're talking about those three factors, gut
Right.
health, inflammation, and hormones, let's talk specifically about gut health. So, I mean, I never even thought about this topic until we became friends, and you really educated me about these three important factors.
Right.
So when it comes to gut health, what should we be doing, and what are some foods that we should be avoiding?
Right. It's a really complicated thing, and the media has kind of preyed on us as being uneducated, and they want to sell us, just probiotic and yogurt and everything's supposed to be great. And oh my gosh, I'm eating things good for my gut health, but it's way more complicated than that.
So you're blaming the media.
I'm blaming the media. I'm blaming people like Nineveh, who's a big time, person in the media. No, I mean, it's just marketing. It's marketing hype. They're doing their job, not to say those things are bad, but they're just a fraction of the big picture. There's way more to it. And so our gut health starts, we get it initially from our mother. I mean, it starts at birth, and your gut health, your gut microbiota or microbiome is a complicated, complex thing where we have good bacteria, bad bacteria, you have mixtures of bacteria. And if that can get out of whack, your gut flora can get out of whack, you can have problems.
Well, can I stop you right there? Because
Sure.
when you talk about yogurt, we see all these commercials on television about, I'm not going to name any specific brands, but you know which ones I'm talking about, that says eat this specific yogurt to improve your gut health. And that's the way they sell it. And so are you saying we should stay away from things like that?
Well, look, there's some that are better than others, but I'm just saying that just because you do that doesn't mean that it's fixing your gut health, right? It's a Band-Aid. It's a small piece to the puzzle. So, you know, to kind of answer your question, or to take a step back, your gut flora, your gut health can affect your hormones. It can affect your neurotransmitters. It can affect your mood and really could affect weight loss and weight gain. Your gut is like the gatekeeper to your overall health and wellness. Okay. So our gut affects our immune system. It affects neurotransmitters, it affects hormones, it affects everything. So quite often when I see somebody who has gut issues, meaning like digestive issues, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, any sort of mix of gut symptoms, usually there's much bigger issues. That's what they feel and they see, but those problems are keeping them from optimal health and are ruining their health long term. And so we have to address those. And so we have to first say, hey, what should we not eat? What, you know, we don't want to put fuel in the fire, right? If that's a fire that's burning, what you're putting in your mouth on a daily basis is like pouring gasoline on it. So the foods we want to oftentimes avoid for at least a period of time, sometimes forever, depending on who you are and how severe your issues are. But we want to avoid primarily processed grains and processed dairy. And when I say processed, unfortunately, that's everything, right? That's grains and dairy, period. And so those foods can be pro-inflammatory to the gut. They can, cause problems with digestion, and then that can alter our gut flora. And so some of the good foods we do want to eat, of course, you know, your fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and properly raised animal proteins, which would mean like grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish, free-range chicken, things like that. And then fermented foods, okay? So like kimchi and sauerkraut are things that I know aren't popular, but they're very much better forms of probiotics than like a yogurt or something like that. And they're real foods that can increase the good bacteria in our gut and help us with a lot of these issues. But at the end of the day, most people are probably going to need to take a probiotic supplement and maybe rotate that, and that's going to be a great thing. And so we have to know what foods to avoid, know what foods to eat, and then figure out what we might do to supplement to help us get to the next level.
Yeah, because certainly we're not getting it from our everyday foods. What about hormones? Let's talk about that.
Hormones. Hormones control how lean you get. Okay, so my best example, you know, this might not be a great example for your women empowerment movement, but they can, you know, you can appreciate it, I think, as somebody in the media. Steroids in baseball were like a big thing where several major league players got in trouble for using steroids. Well, I'm not telling people to use steroids, but steroids, what they do is they alter your hormonal state. You're putting synthetic hormones into your body to make you stronger, faster, leaner, to make you recover better from workout. Now, we have those many hormones in our body naturally, okay? And so in order to get lean, in order to put on muscle, in order to burn fat, in order to have energy and get as lean and feel as good as we possibly can, we want to have optimal hormonal function. So what happens is when we're in a chronic stress state, okay, from eating wrong, from not sleeping, from job stress.
Which is like 95% of people in this country.
Absolutely. Everybody, you know, even the people who don't think they're under stress, they're under stress from toxins in the environment, toxins in their home, from, you know, an improper diet and not sleeping enough and all these things, okay? Especially, you know, women who are working a full-time job, have kids, have a family, have other things going on. No matter how much you think you're stressed, you are stressed. Okay. When your body feels stressed, it doesn't decipher different types of stress. It just feels stress. And when it feels stress, it releases stress hormones. Those stress hormones, okay, they're going to steal the byproducts that were needed to make your other hormones, like your sex hormones, okay? And the sex hormones are good hormones, okay? So you have things like your testosterone and estrogen and pregnenolone and DHEA, and you know, there's different hormones like that are positive. And even looking at like your thyroid, so many people have thyroid issues. And a lot of that stems from putting your body in a chronic stress state. And so your body's making stress hormones way more than it should. And it doesn't have the byproducts it needs to make the sex hormones that can get you lean and fit and sexy and look how you want to look.
So is the answer just to have more sex?
That's part of it. That's part of it. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
that could be part of it. But the answer is to lower stress, eat the right diet, train the right way, and avoid toxicity. Toxicity is another killer that we could certainly add to this list. But you know, so hormones, we have to control hormones. And the first hormone we can control by what we put in our mouth food-wise is insulin, or our blood sugar. So if we control our blood sugar, then we're gonna really give ourselves a better chance to keep our hormones in check long term and to get leaner.
So cut sugary foods, it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, you know, cut processed sugar, okay? So processed sugar, grains, dairy, those things are going to have a pretty quick and negative impact on your blood sugar. And so we want to eliminate those things. We want to eat more real food, tons of vegetables, okay? If you're going to bring in sugar, it needs to be more from things like fruits and vegetables, and maybe some starches, okay? So a lot of people are going to do better on a lower carb diet. But for example, like your husband, John, who's a pro athlete and who trains pro athletes, they need some carbohydrates if they're training at a high level. Even females who are training for a race or a triathlon or something like that, sometimes that's overtraining and probably not what they should be doing in reality if they want to get lean and look good. But those people often need to bring in carbohydrates, but instead of being from grains and bread and pasta, it should be from more starchy vegetables like sweet potatoes and yams and beets and carrots and things like that.
The really yummy stuff. I actually love yams. Let's talk about the last topic really quickly, inflammation.
Yeah.
So when you think of inflammation, you think of taking like ibuprofen.
Right.
You know, but,
right.
Or you think of, you know, injuries, you know, inflammation caused by injuries, but there's such a thing as just inflammation, generalized inflammation in the body, which could stop you from losing weight as a woman, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's inflammation. If you look on women's magazines, or not just magazines going through the grocery store, it's the silent killer, right? Inflammation is systemic inflammation within the body is absolutely a silent killer. When we look at people for risk of disease or risk of heart disease specifically, inflammatory markers are actually probably a better indicator of risk than cholesterol. Okay, so inflammation is the silent killer. We can get inflamed, and like you said, I mean, you might feel inflammation from a state of like just fatigue, or your joints hurt, or your back hurts, or things like that. That's inflammation that we're aware of. But when I see somebody, and you know, unfortunately, some of the women watching this, it's you look in the mirror and you're like, man, why am I bloated? Why am I water retented? Why do I just look inflamed? Why do I not look as lean as I should be, or I used to be? And a lot of times that there's inflammatory processes going on in the body, and it very much does have to do with gut health and with hormones as well. But inflammation can cause a lot of reactions within the body that can also put you in chronic stress and alter your hormones and not let you get as lean as you want. So we need to eat an anti-inflammatory diet. We need to take supplements that are anti-inflammatory. And part of that is also going to be liver detoxifying as well. And so maybe the fourth thing that I should have included for you was toxicity, because gut health, hormones, inflammation, and toxicity are probably the four things that your women need to know about and need to be educated on, and we need to fix if they're going to get the results they deserve. Even if you're eating well and working out and look pretty good, we can get you to that next level if we address these four things.
Very, very fascinating topic. I know that there's so much more to discuss, but I wanted to keep it long enough but short enough to keep everyone's attention. And Terry, I really, really appreciate your time. And so I did want to just let everybody know again, in case you haven't heard, we are kicking off our Body Reset online challenge, which is kicking off on January 4th. And we've got an incredible, lineup of coaches. And here's the thing, like for me, people have been watching my journey, and, they know that my husband, John Madsen, owns an athletic performance facility here locally. And I've been blessed enough to marry my trainer, right? So really for me, there's no excuse, and I've got full access to people like you and him that keep me on track. But I recognize that not everybody has that opportunity. So I really wanted to put something together that would, be able to benefit everyone. And people have asked me specifically for advice, but I don't have the expertise that someone like Terry Shanahan has. So we're created a program that has a great lineup of coaches, Terry Shanahan being one of them. He's really going to be coaching us on, again, important topics like we just discussed today, because I really think it's all about education. And if you're aware of the things that are harming you, then, you can take that next step to actually finally losing that weight or answering some of those, mysterious questions, or the answers to those questions that you had. And on top of Terry Shanahan, we'll have John Madsen, my husband, putting together some workout videos, weekly workouts for the 8-week program. This is a 60-day body reset. We also have a good friend of yours, Bill Esch, right?
Yeah. Bill Esch is like a world champion kettlebell guy. He's amazing with mobility and movement and even nutrition too. And so he's an amazing resource we'll have access to.
Yeah, so we'll have him, as well as another woman named Ashley Lillenquist. She's a nutritionist and she's incredible. And she's got a banging body. She has 3 or 4 kids by now, maybe 7. I don't know. Can't tell. But she knows a lot about the woman's body too. So I wanted to make sure that we had women and men in terms of the lineup for the coaches. And of course, I'll be like your empowerment coach, because for me, it's all about mental mindset too, because if you're not ready really to take this journey, or maybe we can discover what stopped you, or some people don't value these things, and they really need to, because without health, you have nothing. Doesn't matter what job you have, how much money you have, all the other things don't matter. When your health goes down the toilet, your entire life goes down with it, as you know. So health, in my opinion, has to be people's number one priority. They have to invest in themselves. They have to, and it's so much easier when you have people holding you accountable. And that's really what this, Body Reset Challenge is about. It's going to be held in a private Facebook group, and you're going to have these accountability coaches, they're going to be coaching you along, holding you accountable. It's going to be a community of people. And I always say, all my training is actually done with a group. And it's because we hold each other accountable. It'd be very, very difficult to go along this health journey of mine alone. And eventually what you wanted to turn into is a lifestyle. So with that, we're really excited. I'll put some more information up there about our Body Reset Challenge, how you can join, how much it costs. And we've really, really put a lot of value. And I think we've, attached a reasonable, affordable price to it. If you value your health, I know you'll recognize the value in the program that we're offering. And so I'm excited about it. We've already got a lot of people joining, and we'll definitely be back with some of the other coaches, including Terry, to continue this educational process leading up to and during the Body Reset Challenge. So thank you so much for joining, Terry.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
All right. See ya.